Okay, hi everyone. I'm here to do a pick a deck reading. So I have these three decks. I have the Light Seers, Holding for One. I have the Haunted House for number 2, and then I have the Everyday Witch for number 3. So go ahead and either pause the video or take some time to pick your pile, and then I will get started here. So this is for those of you who chose the one. And this is going to be like for this full moon. What do you need to know? Kind of like, what do you need to know for this full moon? So, see what comes out. Everybody chose pile 1. What do they need to know? We have the High Priestess. We have the Death. Wow. Everyone needs to know who chose pile 1. We have the Knight of Swords. And we have the Hermit. Wow, pile 1. We have the Three of Wands. The Queen of Cups. For pile 1, we have Justice. We have the Ace of Cups. And we have 2 came out. We have Queen of Swords and 10 of Swords came out together. And then on the bottom, we have the Fool. Ooh, interesting. Okay. This is pretty, see a lot in here. So, for you, what you need to know, wow, super huge transformation, like going through a lot of changes, like going through something internally, needing to make some sort of ethical decision with this, and this is like a huge transformation. There's a little bit of anxiety here, needing to use your intuition, make a decision. Yeah, there's some sort of decision surrounding your personal well-being, your personal growth and happiness and healing. Um, it looks like if you're looking for answers, which it looks like you are, this is giving you anxiety and you need to focus on your intuition, and they're telling me that you already have the answers inside. So it's kind of like a matter of sitting with these. It's kind of also like, who do you want to be? Like, who do you choose to be in this moment? And so that'll help you with this anxiety. I feel like you have, there's some anxiety surrounding kind of your happiness, what you want. I feel like you've kind of been through a lot. You're a person who's really been through a lot, and you've recently gone through something very painful, and so you're kind of like wanting to walk away from that pain, and so you're kind of like, where is this like fulfillment right now? You're looking for this fulfillment, and I feel like this has been kind of a long journey for you, and kind of like a really maybe uncomfortable journey too. So you're kind of like setting these goals where you want to like move forward, but you also want to do it in a way where you are respecting yourself and being kind to yourself. I do see a new beginning happening that does bring a lot of fulfillment here, and this sort of has to deal with kind of like walking away from the pain. Like, what can you take from this pain that you walked away from? You need to think about, like, really try to consider what you can take from this pain that you walked away from, or that you're currently walking away from. Like, how can you like use this pain to like create um, more wisdom within yourself is kind of what I'm getting. And so this is kind of like where you want to be ethical. You want to align yourself with those values so that you can continue this healing process and be successful in this healing process. And I do see there's something here that you do need to release. And it looks like what you need to release is this anxiety, this fear that having anxiety is really fear about the future. It's really worrying about things that haven't, come to pass yet or haven't taken place. And so you need to kind of let this go and really focus on where is your power, what kind of things can you set up for yourself, what kind of goals or what kind of path can you set for yourself where you are going to be kind of navigating those emotional waters of you know doing what's best for yourself and being kind to yourself. There's a lot of power in this reading. There's a lot of power coming out. So I think that's something, they're saying that you have this power, that you totally are empowered to do this. You need to kind of take a risk. Yeah, I feel like things have been going slower for you. Needing to walk away from something. Things have been going slower, but you need to take this risk. You need to have faith in the universe. It's kind of knowing that you're supported at all times. Um, and that'll really help you here. So I think that's all I'm seeing for you, Pile One. But if you didn't see what you were looking for, or if you're interested in looking at the other decks, we can definitely do that. So thank you for stopping by. Okay, this is for those of you who chose the Haunted House Tarot. So this is kind of for the full moon energy, what do you need to know? So what's coming in for you? What do you need to know with this energy? Let's get into it. With pile 2, everybody chose the second deck. What do they need to know? We have the Hierophant. We have the Nine of Wands. We have, I got the Six of Swords and the King of Cups came out together. What else we have? We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Empress. We have the Four of Swords. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Knight of Wands. And then we have the Moon. And we have the Seven of Pentacles on the bottom. Okay, so I'm seeing there's something that you're learning about. This has to deal with kind of expanding and growing. And those of you who chose this pile, you could be someone who is a nurturer, somebody who is very good at creating the world around you so that things come to you and that you don't have to really do a whole lot. And you're kind of at this place where you're learning about I feel like you've been through a lot. There's a lot that you've been through, and you are learning how to kind of make things happen for yourself in the physical world, make these new beginnings happen. But I feel like you've been really there's been like a lot of movement, a lot of action, a lot of communication with all of this too. And there's also like a decision that's intuitive. This is kind of similar to pile one, a little bit similar, but it's a little different too, where you have this decision, you need to rely on your intuition, but I feel like there could be some fear here that's holding you back. Yeah, this is a little bit like pile one. Um, because you're wanting to really move on from, like, you've been through a lot and you're kind of feeling like wounded at this time. You're wanting to learn, but you're also, the things that you've been through have been like so incredibly traumatic that you're trying to move away from them, um, because you want more kind of like love in your life. You want more fulfillment. You want to be able to really express yourself. I wanted to point out too that you guys have 3 nights. So this could be kind of like relying on your friends. Sometimes that's an indication of like relying on your friends. But also it's kind of like you're sort of in the part of your journey where you're not quite to that mastery level yet, because nights are usually, they come before the kings, and so they are well, and the queens too, I guess. And so they are like learners. They're like um, focusing on really like learning about this life thing. And so I feel like that's what you're doing, because you have the Hierophant here too, which is what's showing me also that you're kind of learning in this learning period. But they're also showing me that you are you want this new beginning. You're trying to figure out, you're trying to really like focus on how you can get this. But I feel like there are things that are in your life, like these trauma or these activation points, that are kind of making it hard for you to really recognize yourself as this person who has this ability to like really use who you are and your resourcefulness, your ability to nurture, to really like draw things to you. And this has just been a process for you. I feel like there's a little bit of impulsivity here too, like where you know that you're this person, but I feel like there's kind of like this push pull between waiting and then also being like impulsive or just kind of like going for it. Um, there's something that you're moving away from. I feel like there's some sort of enlightening that's coming. If you haven't had this awakening or enlightening, you are kind of in that place where you're going to. But this is really going to be about your ability to connect with other people, to um, relate with other people. But you are still kind of like, I guess, like wanting to take action, but not taking action. And you're also, as I said earlier, need to rely on your intuition. There's a decision here. You want this new beginning. You want this tangible beginning. I feel like things have really taken quite a long time, and you haven't really seen the results that you want. Um, and so this is like I think you need to like master your emotions here too. Um, Something about like mastering your emotions and being there's a lot of like coming out about childhood trauma too, or not childhood trauma, but like, well, I guess it could be, but like inner child, yeah. So yeah, it could be like childhood trauma, but yeah, mostly just that you're learning how to like really manifest the things that you want into the physical world. But this is requiring you to kind of look at your value system and see like what is it that you do truly want and how can you attain that. So that's kind of why you're in this process of learning. um, and I think needing to I think there's a decision too about like continuing to wait or just being impulsive. And I do see like clarity is coming eventually, but right now it's kind of like you're going through it. Like I feel a lot of tension and anxiety for this group. So that's kind of like what I have if you chose this pile, or this deck. If that doesn't resonate, you can certainly check out the other ones. Number one was a little bit similar, so if you're curious, you can go ahead and check out number one. And this is for those of you who chose the Everyday Witch Tarot. So let's get into it. This is going to be for this full moon. Like, what do you need to know specifically for this full moon? So let's get into it. This is pile 3. Need to know we have Judgment. Wow, all these have been like super powerful so far. We have Strength. We have Six of Cups. And what else do we have for third deck? We have Three of Cups. We also have the Seven of Cups. We have the Four of Pentacles. Why is it that? And what else do we have? Ooh, we have the Sun. Just like flew right out there. That's good. I like that. And then we have the Ten of Swords. And then we have the Nine of Cups. And then we have the King of Swords. Okay. So, for those of you who chose pile 3, like a lot of Leo energy here. But that's just info if it doesn't resonate. Okay. So you have a decision that you want to make. This is kind of like, I feel like you've been through maybe a period of like growth or transformation, and so you've really like got some enlightenment that's showing you, how your actions, do you want to take the same actions that you have taken previously, or do you want to go a different path? Because what you're really looking for is sort of this like harmony within your relationships with other people, with your friendships, with your partners, and you really want this abundance, this clarity, this enlightenment, this joy, this overall just like happiness. That's kind of what you're looking at. But I feel like there's like a little bit of vulnerability here where you could be held back by some fear with that vulnerability. Like you're needing to kind of like have courage, and you're needing to kind of like balance that part out of yourself. So, like balancing it out as in kind of like balancing your tendency to kind of like have that ego response or go to that ego place with also like being able to be courageous, and have vulnerability. And this has to deal with like, again, your relationships, again, like your happiness in life. You're just kind of looking to like really cultivate this joy right now. Just really in your relationships, I feel like there's like a lot of emotional overwhelm too. There could be like a lot going on, which is kind of making it hard, because I feel like one thing that could be holding you back is like you've really been through a lot of pain, and I see that you're coming out like on the other side, like you're gaining clarity and things are going to be a lot better, but you've just really been like struggling with like depression, despair, or just like a lot of this like emotional, mental pain and anguish. And so I think that's kind of like where some of that fear is coming from, where you're going to have to be courageous and really, I think you're kind of like trying to figure out if you can trust yourself, because you have all these different options here, and your ultimate goal is this happiness, and you want this stability. You want to be happy, but you also want stability like in the physical world. You want to be like financially stable. You want to not have to worry about paying the bills. You want to be in a place where you have food on your table and a roof over your head, but at the same time you're also like, I want happiness too. Like you kind of just want it all, and I do see potential for you having it all here. I do see, once again, like you're really wanting this clarity, which I feel like you're going to get. I feel like also focusing on like positive things or focusing on affirmations or gratitude will help you kind of get out of this pain, even like meditation, because you do have a lot coming towards you, and I do see a lot of like peace and serenity coming to you. You need to really master your thoughts. It's showing me that you need to master your thoughts and be courageous, be a little bit courageous, and be a little bit childlike in how you go about this. That's kind of what they're telling you to do at this time. And so really mastering these thoughts, because I think what they're telling me is like your thoughts about all this is really what's going to make it. If you continue to like have this fear about this pain, um, you know, this is kind of like this decision that you're making. Like, do you want to do things how you've always done them in the past, or do you want to try a new thing? Be courageous, trust yourself to make a good choice, and that you will be stable in the choice that you make. And I want to tell you something about making a choice. So the thing is, like when we make choices in life, we make that choice, and then if it doesn't work out, then you can go back. You can always go back, and you can always reevaluate, like, okay, that didn't work out. Maybe I'll go do something different. So it's not like, I think sometimes we place a lot of this emphasis on like I have to get it perfectly the first time, or I have to know exactly what I'm doing, and that's not necessarily the case. So that's kind of what I have for you if you chose this deck. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and if all of these kind of like went together a little bit, so if you feel like checking out the other decks, go for it. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.